G17 Collectibles. Today we're going to be taking a look at something that's just landed with me in the last few days. The Hot Toys Princess Leia and Wicket double pack from Star Wars Return of the Jedi. Now I managed to score this one on a UK website this week, and I managed to get it for a really good price. Really excited to see what this one looks like. I've had my eye on it for a few months now since it was released. So today we're going to unbox it, take a look at the figures inside, take a look at the accessories and come up with a pose for the two figures. Now if you haven't been on the channel before, I do have a number of videos already loaded up, mainly on the collection you see behind me. So if you want to know more or see more on the collection that I have, please do check out those other videos. If you like what you see today, please do give me the thumbs up. Happy to answer any questions. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. There'll be some new videos coming up every week, and hopefully we'll generate some really good content. So without further ado, let's dive in to the figure, and I'll tell you all about how I managed to get it. Okay, so we'll start first of all with the box. Really nice box in the typical Star Wars style. You have the lovely shots of the figures on the front with the Star Wars logo, and we have this box band that goes across the sides and the front. Now I really like this. I think that's a good touch from Hot Toys. Just gives the box a little something extra. Now you'll notice that it goes round the front, round the side. It doesn't actually go round the back, so it's not like a sleeve that goes all the way around the box. It just goes across and inside the lid. And when we open the box up, we are presented with a top cover showing another shots of Princess Leia and Wicket, which looks pretty nice. Yeah, I like that. That's a good shot. Gives you some inspiration for how you want to pose the figures. And here we have the actual inside of the box with all the contents itself. So what I can see, we've got Leia, we've got Wicket, we've got the camo poncho. Oh, Stormtrooper helmet, all distressed and weathered, that's good. Wicket spear, couple of little drumsticks, Endor helmet. Okay, let's pull this out. We'll take the top clamshell off first. Put that to one side. And we'll take a look at some of the accessories before we start pulling them out. So we've got some hands down here, some spare pegs. We've got some hands for Wicket. We have almost like the Death Star gunner helmet. We've got the Stormtrooper weathered helmet. Oh, inside of that you've got a lot of detail. So they've got the helmet interior in this one. Something Hot Toys will do with some helmets and not others, but that's a good touch. I like that. See all the detail inside of that one. And the weathering's actually really good on this. Normal Hot Toys quality. These are weathered really well. It's obviously a helmet after the Battle of Endor. What else have we got? Leia's blaster. Possible wristwatch or communicator. Let's have a look at Leia's helmet. Oh, that's nice. I like that. Nice weathering. It's, you can feel that the metal band around the top cap has been dented and scratched, and you can actually feel it in the plastic. It's not just a paint effect, but there also is a lot of nice weathering effects on this, accurate to the movie. And that, that cap, both the brim and the top are material. That's hard plastic behind there, hard plastic on the ear caps, hard plastic on the strap, and the chin strap, quite flexible, just comes off. So that's nice, that's really nice, that's good. Wicket spear, that's pretty nice. All solid kind of resin plastic. That's quite a thin spearhead, obviously replicating some form of stone. Spear's nice, really well done. Given the size of this, you can feel the wood grain. They've actually got some wee knots in the spear as well, so you can feel the wood grain across the whole length of it. Really nice coloration, good paintwork. These wee drumsticks, now they're really nice as well. Again, similar to the spear where you can feel the wood grain and wee knots pointing out. You've then got this material, and that's just hard sculpt. You get this material coming round here, really well painted. And you can see all the crevices here have had some sort of black wash put in them. Yeah, that's really nice, really well weathered. Okay, before we take the figures out, let's have a look underneath, because this is where the stands are. And under here we have two stands with environment pieces. Which look pretty nice. So we'll take this one out first. This is Wicket stand. I really like these hot toy stands. I like the shape, I like the height, I like the fact you get this wee nameplate, which are really, really well done. It's almost like etched into the chrome plate. This one has one of these typical Hot Toys style type vinyl decals, almost put on top of the hard stand. That's not removable, which is fine because it's in keeping with Endor, and that's exactly what we want. Let's just take some of this plastic off. There we go. Oh, wee short waist grabber. So we'll plug that in. There we go. Wee waist grabber in there. Let's take out layers. Exactly the same base, same pattern on top, slightly different. But again, you've got the Princess Leia Star Wars plaque. Peel the plastic off that one. There we are. And we'll put the taller waist grabber into this one. Oh, it was a bit tighter, that one, to get in. But there we are. There's Leia's stand. Now these environment sections, take a closer look. So these are obviously get the design of these is that they fit round the stands. You have some plastic ferns, tree trunk on this one with some nice rocks. Paint's really good. You can see some moss or forest floor growth has been sculpted in here. A couple of rocks, which is quite nice. The ferns, yeah, the ferns do look plasticky, but I'm quite happy with them. I think they're a reasonably good attempt at some kind of like forest ferns. Yeah, they're good. Yeah, like them. You can see a tree trunk. It's obviously been broken or split at some point. Some really nice paintwork in there. This one, again, similar thing. You've got this angular corner sculpted into this base, which obviously fits round the stand, and I am going to use these. I really like them. You've got some ferns again, some rocks, some moss. So let's put that one on there at the moment. And third one. It's really nice to get these sorts of things with a Hot Toys figure. You know, it kind of adds to the overall figure to have something which ties them into that point in the movie or the scene or the landscape that they're in. I really do like these. How I'm going to use them, I'm not quite decided yet, but they fit really nicely on the stands. Let's get rid of this base plastic tray, and let's just pull in. Don't know if this will work on the overhead cam, but let's just pull these in. So you can have them on the back, one on the side. Not entirely sure which one goes with which. I don't think it really matters, to be fair. And they don't appear to, certainly the corner ones don't appear to cover the nameplate. They come up butt up right against it, but that's not too bad at all. Yep, happy with them. They look rather good. So let's move the stands to one side. And let's get one of the figures out. So let's first of all go with Leia. Now, Leia, let's take the plastics off first. Okay. Careful with that. Wee bit of hair coming down the face there, and I almost pulled it off with pulling that plastic. Let's get the rest of the plastic off. I'm just going to cut these. There's not much point in trying to undo the sellotape from these things. I've got some protective plastics around the neck. I'm going to have to try and pull this all out. There we go. And that's interesting. The neck isn't solid plastic, it's not hard plastic. The neck is very soft, which is something I've never seen in a Hot Toys figure before. That's interesting. The plastic sticking to me. And that goes all the way down into the top of the chest. I'm not going to stick my full finger down there, obviously, but I'd imagine, yeah, it feels soft. I think the upper body to around about the top of the legs is soft. So it's almost like one of the Thyssen bodies. So from the shoulders, the arms, the forearms, all hard plastic. The legs, hard. But from the kind of crotch area, the upper torso and the lower torso, it's a lovely, soft, flexible material. So that's really surprising. I wasn't expecting that, to be fair. But I'm really, really happy that they've done that. Not that it makes much of a difference when it comes to the torso, because it's all under clothing. But yeah, just a nice surprise to get. Overall in the body you have some really nice costume cut and sew. Wee comms badge there, which is really well detailed. Really well detailed. On the belt we've got pouches, nice kind of soft material, kind of to mimic leather. That belt looks as if it is attached to the top of the trousers, so it won't fall down. It's perfectly positioned where it is. The boots, really nice stitching around the boots. And the soles, yeah, the soles are lovely actually. So they're like proper, leather riding boots. Hot Toys have done a wonderful job on those. Face sculpt wise, that is a beautiful head sculpt. Now I don't have any Princess Leia's in the collection at all. It's a difficult figure, I think, to execute. And Princess Leia doesn't necessarily come with a whole host of accessories. So you look at the Bespin Leia or the A New Hope Leia, it's never really been something I've been interested in getting to this point. But this one, because it had so many accessories and it was a very posable figure, I jumped at it when I saw it on sale. Which we'll come to. I'll tell you how I managed to get this for such a good deal. But face sculpt wise, I am really pleased with that. I really like it. That's beautiful. Okay, so we still need to get these plastic bits off of the arms. There we go, just a wee pull. Let's put the head back on. There we are. We'll just, that's really nice. Really nice. I like that one. So let's put that off to the side just now. And let's pull out Wicket. So take that plastic off there. What a fun little figure. He is really nice. A lot better than the pictures you see online. I was really quite concerned about Wicket. Wicket is one of my favourite Star Wars characters, and the reason why he's one of my favourite Star Wars characters is because of my age. I was a child of the 80s, born in the very late last dying minutes of the 70s, so I was born in 79. And when I was old enough to understand what toys were, etc., that was the period of Return of the Jedi. And all the Star Wars toys that I had as a child were from Return of the Jedi. And this was really the film that, captured my imagination as a small child because of these wee guys, the Ewoks. And I've always had a massive soft spot for Wicket. I think he's a terrific character. And this figure really doesn't disappoint. And I was worried because the pictures, thinking it's just a small teddy bear, that's essentially what it is. And something with all body fur, I think really is difficult to get right, but this is tremendous. It really is tremendous. The pictures, this video will not do this figure justice. It really won't. The fur is really soft. He has a bit of a soft body. You can press that in. His feet have been very well sculpted. His hands, very well sculpted. And the way in which he moves, the joints are quite soft. They're very easy to manoeuvre. And it reminds me of the A New Hope Chewbacca and the way in which it was posable. The joints are just so easy to move. Now that could cause problems in the long run, but that is a very easy and posable. I mean, you can make minute adjustments to that. There's no click-clack, there's no ratcheting going on in there. It's a very soft, pliable, like you can get his hands kind of all the way up. That is a tremendous figure. So the fur is beautiful. The body is beautiful. I really like it. You can't see any joins on the hands. You can see the fur goes right the way up to his hands. I didn't realise it had 3 fingers. 2 fingers and a thumb. And then this hood that he wears, that's been beautifully done. It's thin suede kind of material. It's been weathered really well, and you can see all that kind of stitching as well in the hood. Beautiful. So that's the biggest surprise of the day. How good Wicket looks. His face sculpt, I think, is on point. The body is on point, and the hood is on point. So I am really happy with Wicket. I would say that's, believe it or not, one of the standout figures for me so far this year or last year. I really like that. Really like that. So there's Wicket. Okay, what else have we got in this box? We have some kind of Death Gunner type helmet, officer helmet. Quite nice, thin plastic. Not a lot to say about that one. So obviously for a bit of to use as a bit of a drum set. Showed this already, the weathered Stormtrooper helmet. I really like that. It's got a lovely interior within it. It's been weathered beautifully, and yeah, really, really nice. We have Wicket's spear that I showed earlier on. We have two of these drumsticks. We have Leia's Endor helmet, which we showed a while back. We have a selection of hands for Wicket. Oh, so there we have him holding what is almost like a little rice cake. Obviously that's what Leia shares with Wicket on the tree log, and he's actually holding it. That's a really nice touch. Wasn't expecting that, but that is fantastic. There's a hand for Wicket. Another hand where he is pointing. That's a nice wee hand there. Third hand looks like a spear holding hand. And we have another hand. So there's obviously two lefts, two rights, and that's a spear holding hand as well. So we've got a spear left and a spear right. We also have Leia's Return of the Jedi blaster, which is quite nice. Well done. No moving parts, I don't think. Nope. But that's really nice. That can either be holstered or posed in our hand. We have this little wrist communicator. Difficult to see, but given the size of it, it's got a nice wee glossy screen, couple of buttons up the side, a nice detailed ridged watch strap, and a buckle. That's really, really nice. I like that one. And we have some hands for Leia. So we've got left, kind of maybe gun holding hand. Maybe not. We have the right gun with trigger finger hand. We have a left spear holding hand, maybe something holding hand. And we have another kind of spear holding or drumstick holding hand, whatever it may be. So two rights, two lefts, not an abundance of hands for Leia. She's obviously got our flat hands on the figure already. Not a huge amount of hands to do things with, but I'd imagine they are sufficient for the accessories we have here. And the last thing that's in the box, other than the pegs, is the camel poncho. Let's take a look at that. Which is really nice, good colour. I'm liking that. It's got some slits in the poncho to feed her belt through. Nice hood. Doesn't feel maybe there's a very, very thin wire running round the outside of the hood. And the thin wire running all the way around the edge. Yeah. So that allows us to give a bit of posability to the poncho itself. So that's it. That is what is in the box. What we're going to do now is we are going to put some of this together. I'm going to play about and find the best pose possible for both these figures. I'd imagine I'm just going to have Wicket standing holding his spear, and I'm going to put the helmet on Leia's head, the poncho on, because that's the look I like, with her perhaps holding the blaster in her hands. I'm not convinced that at the moment I'm going to use these two helmets. If anything, I'm going to use a Stormtrooper one, and I may just sit it on this tree trunk So we may do something like that to sit on Wicket's base, perhaps. But yeah, we'll play about and we'll see what we come up with in the next few minutes. So we'll finish up there and on to the next section. Okay, so that was a lot of fun. That took me probably about 15-20 minutes to put everything together. It wasn't massively complicated. I did learn a few things as I went through, which I'll point out. But this is roughly what I've ended up with, and I think what I'll stick to for the final pose of these two figures. Now I'll start with Wicket. Incredibly easy. There's not much posing to this guy, although I'm sure there's lots of options you can do. I just wanted something plain and simple. Wicket standing, holding his spear. Now, as I said before, the body, the way the arms move, very fluid, very easy, not a lot of resistance. The hands coming off, popped off, no problem at all. The spear holding hand popped in, normal Hot Toys small peg. And then I was able just to brush the fur with my fingers to kind of blend it and match it so there wasn't any sort of join. And then all I did was take kind of fingers and fingernails and kind of go over the fur, because it's not meant to be brushed, it's meant to be looking a bit matted, etc. And just kind of fluffed it down, get rid of all the spots that I wasn't happy with. But generally it took me a couple of minutes to put this guy together, and I've chosen to just put the two corner forest pieces on Wicket. One thing I did notice was there's a couple of holes in this one. I believe that's for the two helmets, perhaps, to be put on wee plastic stands. But yeah, so the corner ones, quite nice on Wicket. Now Leia I learned quite a lot about as I was going. Originally I thought I'll put the helmet on. I wanted the helmeted portrait rather than the portrait you see here with the hair and the braids. However, what I found out was that it didn't look quite the way I wanted it to, but more importantly, on the back of the head sculpt, this hair piece pulls off. Once that's pulled off, you then take the head sculpt and you have to force it inside the helmet. Now, two things. It's difficult because this is all rigid plastic, which has got a bit of bend to it. It's difficult to get the head sculpt in there and seated properly. But the one thing I was most concerned about was by pushing and tugging and pulling the head sculpt around in the helmet, that I was going to end up damaging the ears, the little strings of hair sitting next to Leia's ears, or even the forehead of the sculpt itself. And to be honest with you, I think the helmet hides a lot of Leia's face because it's sunken and set back within the actual helmet itself. So because of that, I decided to take the helmet off, put the hair back on, which I think has worked out a lot better and looks a lot better. And then I just used one of the kind of holding hands to put the strap through and put Leia's helmet in her hand. And I think I wanted to incorporate the helmet, and I've managed to do so in the pose that I've chosen. She's not massively stable on her feet. She's a very light, small, petite figure. Not like some of the male figures where you could probably get away with having them not on a stand. This one, although she's steady, she does slide around. And this is a consequence as well of these pattern tops that Hot Toys tend to go with. They're kind of rough, they've got a rough texture, and when you have some plastic smooth boots, it does tend to slide around a bit. On the right hand side, you can see that I pulled the hand off and put the blaster hand in. Nice and easy arm to fold up and pose in that position. The hands come off no problem, and the hands are quite pliable, so they're not really stiff and hard. You know, obviously Leia's hands and fingers are a bit thinner and petite than a male hand, but they were easy enough to get the gun into. There's no way you're going to break any fingers, etc, etc. It was pretty simplistic. Now the poncho what I discovered was the belt that goes along the trousers is velcroed. You have a velcro fastener on the back and it velcros to the front of the trousers. That's why I thought it was stitched on. It wasn't, it was velcro. But you have to feed the belt through the poncho in order to get the desired effect with the holster and one pouch sitting above the poncho, and behind you have an almost back pouch which you leave in play. That was a little bit on the fiddly side because you have to take the holster off of the belt in order to feed it through. But I only removed the holster, I didn't remove the other pouch. I left that one on and fed it through. The back pouch. I left the back pouch on, fed the back pouch through the front of the poncho, and then reattached both this pouch and the holster. Overall, I'm very happy with it. I think the pose is pretty darn good. This little wrist communicator goes on no problem at all. And fortunately, if you position it right, hides the join between the hand and the arm. I decided as well to use the side piece of the forest diorama and stick the Stormtrooper helmet on top of this tree trunk for the effect. The poncho, although it has wires, very, very thin wiring all the way around, it took a bit to try and get it to sit naturally hanging off of the Leia figure. It was poking up and kind of coming up at the back a little bit, so I had to really spend a good few minutes flattening it all down, manipulating the wires in order to get the poncho hanging. And I'll probably fiddle with this for, a while, just to get it right and get it perfect. But as for posability, and the final pose, I think this is it. I really, really like this figure set. It comes with all these different pieces, which I think enhances the figures themselves. I really like the look of Endor Leia and of Wicket. I'm really, really surprised with the Wicket figure. I think it's fantastic. I really do think it's fantastic. And much, much better in person. And the Leia figure, from the portrait, the head sculpt, all the accessories, it's a really, really, really nice set. And I'm going to take great delight in having this on a shelf in the room and looking at it whenever I'm in here. Now, I promised you a story on how I came about these. So, these were a bargain. What I paid was £299, and no, that is not on a reseller or eBay kind of type website. It was from a UK retailer, and that was £299 delivered. The only downside is that the retailer doesn't tend to do the brown shipping cartons, so it comes just in a plastic bag. But to be honest with you, the shipping carton goes in the loft and stored anyway, so it doesn't make much of a difference to me. Where did I buy it? Well, I bought it from Zavvi in the UK. Zavvi is a really good place for collectibles. They do Sideshow, they do Hot Toys, they do Iron Studios, they do a huge amount of different products. The only downside with Zavvi is that they can be more expensive for both pre-order and in-stock collectibles than everyone else. You probably pay anything between 10 and 15% more than if you went through another UK retailer or even ordered from Sideshow. I've ordered a number of things from Sideshow, and despite the fact that Sideshow charge about £26 for shipping for a Hot Toys figure, and then you have to pay the VAT and tax on it, which adds another £52 to a Hot Toys figure worth in the region of about £175 from Sideshow, given the conversion rates. You're still paying around about £250 for something like the Death Trooper or the Mandalorian Hot Toys from Sideshow, whereas in the UK from Zavvi, you'll pay about £280. So although they have quite a number of things in stock, you do end up paying higher prices. However, and here's the trick, Zavvi, if they have some stock and it hasn't sold, what I've discovered is that they do reduce the price of, not on sale, they don't put it up as, this one's reduced. Occasionally they'll post up special 10% discount off all Hot Toys, use code HOTTOYS10 or whatever it may be. But this Leia double set, this Leia and Wicket double set on Zavvi since it was in stock was always £479, which is expensive considering what you would pay for it on, you know, other retailers' websites, or even ordering it from Sideshow. Sideshow's like £315 plus shipping plus tax. So at £479, they're not going to get a mad rush on selling them. But I check Zavvi every day. I check multiple websites every day, and I've got lots of eBay searches looking out for things, but I definitely check Zavvi every day. 2 reasons. One is because their stock changes constantly. They will get something in stock, like, you know, the Incinerator Trooper, for example, was in stock yesterday. They have their stock continually updates every day. I don't know what particular time. I don't think there is a particular time. It's just throughout the day their stock will update. So it's worthwhile continually checking Zavvi. I usually check it about 5-6 o'clock at night. But not only check the in-stock products, check the prices, because that's where you can win. So Zavvi for quite some time had this set at $479, as I said. Last week the price changed to $429. And I thought, that's not too bad. Still a bit on the pricey side, but at least it's came down slightly. When I checked this set again at the beginning of this week, it came up at $349. Now, that's a huge discount on what they were trying to sell it for. That's £120 off of the price they originally wanted. And it's more in line with what we would pay in the UK from other retailers. You're talking $360, $370 from some of the other retailers. So $350 in itself is a good deal. You check eBay just now, you'll not get one for less than, say, $400. So that is a good deal, $350, and I believe at the time of this video, it's still in stock. So if you're looking for this and you want to get it, Zavvi is the place to go. But hang on, how did I pay $299 when it was $349? Well, I never order anything on Zavvi unless I can use a discount code, and there are always discount codes to have. Whether you're a new member signing up, they'll give you 15% straight away. Or what I do is I go online, look at Hot UK Deals or some other voucher website, and I find a code. And they're running a code just now, which is 15% over a £60 spend. Doesn't apply to every single item on their website. Some of them, you just have to put something in your basket, add the code in and see if it works. But it worked with this set. So when I added it to basket at $349, I put the 15% code in and it came down to $297. It was $199 for shipping, delivered by Royal Mail tracked 40-hour delivery service. And yeah, the total was $299. So you shouldn't ever buy anything in Zavvi at this kind of price above £50-60 unless you go and find a code. I would always recommend finding a way to find codes on Zavvi, and then you get things a lot cheaper. So that's it. That's how I paid $299 for this set. And do you know what? I'm absolutely delighted. I think it's a great set for $299. That's essentially £150 a piece. And this one alone, as a single figure in Zavvi, is $279 right now. So for the difference of, you know, £20, you can get the double pack with the codes. So it is in stock as I speak just now. Whether by the time you watch the video it's gone, who knows. But yeah, if you want it, have a check, try and snag one for yourself. So I hope that's been relatively quite good and you've enjoyed the video today. Certainly I've enjoyed posing this one up, and it's going to be quite a nice addition to the overall Hot Toys collection. If you've liked what you've seen, please do give me the thumbs up and leave comments if you have any questions, etc. If you're a returning subscriber, thanks very much for subscribing and welcome back. If you're not a subscriber, click the subscribe button. There's going to be new things coming up, 1 video a week minimum. This week I'm pushing out 2 or 3. So yeah, subscribe, won't do you any harm. It's just 1 more subscription in your YouTube channel yourselves. So, you know, if you like what you see, please do subscribe. So until the next video, thanks very much for joining us, and yeah, take care.